Okay, hi guys. It's Tuesday. Oh my God, we're back.
Oh my gosh. Welcome to the 12th season
It's
of
actually the 27th.
27th season
I'm just going to get comfortable.
of Cat and Nat Unfiltered. We have a brand new set, and I swear the decor of this set, I wish my house looked like this.
Oh, it's our bachelorette pad.
Oh my gosh, yes. We could host little parties here. I don't know if you guys remember back in the day when we did late night live during COVID, but this would have been such an epic set for that.
I totally agree with you on that one.
I don't know if there's ever a time when we host a late night live.
Yeah, it's called Cat Nat Show.
Yeah, I know. Just like one old school one.
Okay.
Oh gosh, but like the producers with the guests and all that.
It's called a Cat Nat Show.
Yeah. I mean, end of the day, you got to come to the Cat Nat Show. Guys, we're so excited. School has begun, which is the mom new year. And so our new season has started.
So much has happened. It actually was the fastest summer of my life.
Oh my gosh.
And I want to say, the reason we do so many podcasts is because if you're a mom, you know life happens so fast that what was like relevant 2 months ago is no longer relevant. Like it was such a big deal 2 months ago, or like being a mom or a woman, and now you're like, what actually happened? Like gone. Like I don't know.
It's so funny. It's like I've thought so much about now that we're old moms to older kids, you watch little people with little kids sweat the small stuff, and you think to yourself like, oh my gosh, I can't correct you. I can't tell you anything different because you have to experience it to know it. But it's something that you really gain with age. And last night, my teenager, her world was so small. And it's so crazy because you can't look at them and be like, you're being ridiculous in the grand scheme of life. This is so little, because her world isn't big yet. But oh my gosh, I feel like so much has happened this summer.
Well, 1 to 10, how was your summer? Let's just get right into it. 1 to 10, how was summer? 10 being best summer ever. 1 being it could have been way better. We will never be bad. Just like could have been better. 5, it was like,
Yeah, and guys, make sure that if you're listening to this, please share with us what your rating of your summer was. It's crazy because this is the first I've had like grandparents pass away.
Yeah.
I had 2 friends in high school pass, 2 or 3 friends in high school that passed away
2 or
tragically.
3?
Well, there was 3. I wouldn't say he was a close friend, but I definitely knew him well.
Okay. Just tricky when you say 2 or 3.
Because I think about the 2 close ones, and I'm like, but I also
knew of a third.
And all of them were tragic. They weren't like illness. Like one was a suicide. Ooh, like jump off of the apartment building.
Thank you. Trigger warning.
One was a murder, and one was a car accident. Like those are so tragic. That's crazy to think that our daughters haven't experienced any.
And hopefully they don't.
Oh, they will.
Nope. 1 to 10, Natalie.
Okay, so what I was going to say is I've only had friends pass away and grandparents. I haven't really been close to someone who's passed away and not from necessarily old age. And so my father-in-law passed away this summer. And it was kind of like it's a different place to be when it's not your mom or dad.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
And that you're immediately I like the color of your hair on top a lot. Yeah.
You're talking about a very serious
Did you get lowlights?
Yes.
On top?
Yes.
Oh, God, that really works.
Just so you know, you're talking about your father-in-law loss and then his death, and then you go right to my highlights.
Ding.
I mean, did you take your meds?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I was just looking because I can see you under the light, and I was like, it's like so much richer, and you have brown in the top. It's just not blonde. So it's
exactly.
Great. Okay. So you immediately, when it's like
back to the tragic death.
When other people are
rest in peace.
It's rip. When other people
are going through it,
and it's like it's closer. Obviously, my father-in-law was close to him, but he wasn't my dad. He wasn't my husband.
Well, you don't have a history. You have a short history. You have a smaller history. You don't have childhood memories. You don't have all the things that made you the person you are today.
Yes.
You have him in your life as someone who is important to you, but as an extension of your husband in a very different relationship than a child and a parent. And you often mourn your dad or your mom as they were versus
Yeah.
what it is now.
And I think that it's more like you jump into a caregiver position. If someone's hurting more than you or like deeper than you immediately like jump into like I'll take care of this. You know, like I don't want anyone to feel bad that I feel sad because I know your sadness is way bigger than mine.
100.
So it was a crazy position to be in. We had the most amazing July 4th, 2 weeks.
I know you did.
The whole family was there. My parents were there. My father-in-law was at the parade. He was at every dinner. We had a lobster dinner. He was at the beach. He was everywhere doing all the things that like are the biggest memories for the whole family.
Yeah.
And then we left and then he got sick and it was
days.
It was days.
Hours. It was hours.
It was hours. And the whole family was able to make it back to be by his side when he passed. And then the whole family, including all the kids, were all together for 10 days. And we were able to really celebrate his life and organize everything without rushing it and with everyone being a part of it. And this really, I mean, Kat has a big summer also with her dad as well. And we have talked so much about the aging process and losing parents. And I remember when people would be like, it's such a weird place to be in when you're taking care of your children, but then you're also, is that called the sandwich generation?
Yes, it is.
And it's something you never think about when you're younger. You never think about that you're going to have to take care of your parents.
Thank God I have 2 parents who are toxically positive.
Yeah.
Like they're so positive that because I can't imagine if you had a victim as a parent who would make it such a really hard transition, like as a personality.
Yes. Like, yes.
Like I moved my dad into like, an amazing, like it's very independent living. It just has some supports like food and like activities and a dream, really. I wish I could move in there. And I called him this morning and I'm like, how are you? He was like, I've never slept so well in my life. Like so happy. And I was like, it makes your job as a child easier. It's such a gift when they're positive and happy. And
yeah, because a lot of elder people resist
and make it, and they're mean.
They're mean and they resist understanding that they need extra help. Like they're like, I'm not going there. I'm not doing that. I don't need that.
And I think one thing I've learned from all of this, and I have a platform to share it, I'll share it with all of you, is the biggest gift a parent can give their child is, number one, their health status, their wishes and dreams, how much money they have, and where they want to go and what they want to do, because it's not if, it's when. Like there's no if. So when everyone's like, I don't want to be a burden, I don't want to live with you. Well, you living alone somewhere where you can't take care of yourself and I have to worry about you taking care of yourself and making sure all the things are getting done is harder than if you were living with me or if you were living somewhere where people could support you. So like parents of like, if you're older, talk to your kids. If you have adult kids, like please talk to them and say, this is what I want. I'm okay with this. This is what I can afford.
And the problem is that our parents' generation didn't like to talk about a lot
of
things.
Nothing. They're not dying. None of them are dying.
They're not dying. They're not talking about money. Heaven forbid they talk about money. It's so inappropriate. And now the awkwardness of the conversation about what you're going to do when you pass
just sounds greedy.
It sounds greedy, but it also makes when they do pass or when they can no longer take care of themselves, you think it's awkward talking about it when they're alive. How about a family having to deal with everything when they don't know the wishes of these people?
And
it's terrible. So many people fall
over
apart.
Stupid things. Stupid because they think that their parent, like they begin to get nitpicky. It is, I mean, not my family, thank gosh. I mean, I have 2 brothers who, like, you really see who your siblings are. You really see who your family is. You really see, no one talks about that. And if the parent has a plan, actually I heard recently, I've heard of 1 or 2 people who's said to their kids, you figure it out. You come back to me with the plan of who's taking what you want and where it's going. Like the will be decided before I pass on, and here's the assets.
Wow.
Go figure it out.
Wow.
So they've decided as a group how it's all going to go, and they all had to be okay with it before they could move on. And I think unique way to do it, but at the same time,
beat the shit out of it before it's too late.
I don't want any surprises.
No.
If there is things to give. If there's nothing to give, people still fight over TVs and where they're going to go and who. It is the stupidest shit I've ever heard of in my life, what people fight over. And I don't know why.
Well, I was just going to say, I think that one of the things is, potentially greed and wanting things that they don't have. But then there's also like, I know someone who passed away and they left some things behind and some people didn't get anything. And it didn't matter what it was. It's that they feel like
They were left
more loved are more valuable because they were left something that was valuable. It's like,
I think also decisions make people feel more loved. Like why are you making that decision? I knew him just as well as you. Why do you get to go and do that when I was close with them too? It becomes the power of who. You're right. It's the power of who was closer to them when they were alive.
And I'll never forget working in finance.
Looking for a guy in finance.
And I remember them saying like a lot of. Everything has like you guys. Everything is going really well. Everything has been going really well in my family so far as well. But you don't want to be the executor. The executor to a family with money is a horrible job.
I said to my parents, talk to me like, no, don't give me anything. I'm terrible at this stuff. I'm like, don't.
Yeah, being an executor also. Often what that means is you have to go through all the legal process and then you have to be the one to tell everyone what they're going to get.
Also, if you have money, leave it now. If you're leaving
things, with nothing in your bank
go.
account.
Leave everything. Look at me. Just leave it. Just what are you doing? Leave the money.
I know. It's first of all, nobody's entitled to anybody's anything when they die.
If you're going to.
No, but also there is something quite nice, simple about having a parent pass that has nothing to leave.
Oh, yeah. To expect nothing.
No, expect nothing.
Otherwise, weird shit happens.
Really weird shit. I was just recently talking to someone and they had the father had a hyphenated last name. And just recently they dropped one of the hyphens because the brothers were in such an argument that they're like, you take that last name, I'll take this one. Your kids will stick with that one. You said, I do not want to have the same last name as you.
And they're related?
Brothers. And they're grown adults.
I don't know. I look at aging and I really think it's so fucked up when you actually see it. Part of my language, you see aging and it really is it's the power of your brain and how you want to age. And you can feel like your life sucks. Like, I don't know what point you come to a realization of what. Okay, so here's the thing. My daughter's like, I don't know the point of dying. Right? She's like, what's the point of all this? And I said, I think when you die, you figure out your everything why you're here. And I said,
like when you're dying or when you're dead?
Because she's like, where do you go? Where do you think? And I go, she's like, do you think everyone has different beliefs? And, well, I'm like, everyone does have different beliefs and they go to that place that they believe in. And I said, don't get mad at me. I'm going to get in so much trouble for saying this. I'm going to get in trouble for this, but this is just my belief. I have very religious parents, okay? Like parent and sibling. So just please don't get mad at me. I'm very respectful of everyone's religion. I think religion, I know it's fact for the people who believe in it, okay? Everyone has different beliefs. I think that religion is gives people the reason why when they're here. But I think your reason why is the way you live every single day, not because of someone of a higher God. Because people who do bad things in the church, which are many, you don't get forgiven because you go to church. And I don't ever want my kids to think you can go do something terrible and then be forgiven because you went somewhere on a Sunday. I want my kids to know that you live your life every day and the way you make people feel throughout the day is actually what you're going to be left with at the end of your life. So if you go and you make people feel like shit all the time and you make them feel like they're nothing, probably you're at the end of your life, you're going to be probably very lonely and feel like shit and have nothing.
So more like at the end of your life.
And as you're dying.
The way that people come to you
is sort of
will be a great indicator of the life you lived.
And I
the
think
person
as
you were.
you're dying, everything just comes back to you and you're left with either feelings of warmth and and feel good or terrible. That's what I think karma is. I think karma is every single day. And we're watching as people get older, and you're really left with, my dad made such like an epiphany. He was like, I'm watching my whole life go down to one room. And he's like, everything is just, he's like, it's so crazy to look around and see one room. And I'm like, this is the point of life. You're left with nothing. So
especially when you look back at all the years, like, of the things you thought was important.
So he has everything. He's like, it's just really, it's really weird to see nothing around you and it just going out the door, like being given away. And I was like, but that's it. Like, if there's any other point in your life, talk to an older person who has to go down to a 1-bedroom apartment or like a 1 room, a very small room, and they can't physically bring it with them. You're left with nothing.
Except for the relationships that you have created.
And how you feel about your everyday. Because he can take his attitude, he can take his friends, he can take his family. All my brothers and I were all there yesterday, like with him all day. My husband came, he was there from like 2 to 9 helping him. And I was like, this is your point. This is the point of life. And I think that.
Well, I also think he can sit back and he can think to himself, like, I hope that he can reflect and say, all of them came for me to help me.
I got like 6 emails.
From him?
Yeah, just been like, I'm so thankful. Called us all, text us all, like, thank you so much. I can't thank you guys so much, because.
But like, instead of like, he should also be thankful, but also like, you guys didn't appear out of nowhere.
No.
He created something.
Life.
Yeah.
So I like, even just like the feelings, right? The feelings that you have towards people. So I don't know. I just think that so many people get I think that that's what the end is when you're looking around and you're like, wow, what have I made people feel and how have I felt going through life? Because I mean, there were some people there yesterday that I was like, ooh, like,
I want to go there for lunch. Can we go there? And I just want people watch. And also the other thing with your dad is like, it's not like you have to sit there and like make a whole bunch of like shitty conversation. He doesn't need to talk too much.
It's hilarious.
And like, old people are so intriguing because nobody has as much perspective and experience. And I love that some of them they start to not give a fuck.
Oh, if you have a bad feeling about retirement homes, I'm going to tell you, save some money, go.
That would be the biggest thing.
Save some money. I played Natalie when I was leaving at like 8:15 last night, which I was ready for bed. There was like a live, so I guess a jazz ensemble had come to rehearse. So it was like a rehearsal, but they were amazing.
Oh my God, our girls go and dance at retirement homes. I forgot that.
I'm going to tell them to go. Well, wow. Wow. So they have, it's all playing the music and they're all sitting around chatting. And I'm just like, sorry, they'll have bottles of wine. I'm like, here we are going to bed. These people, dinner served. I'm like, sign me the fuck up.
They're like, sleep when you're dead.
Yeah. Anyway, summer was weird that we had synergies.
But
like
also, yes, I agree. But also, definitely try and save your money or take care of your parents because the government retirement homes are.
I know. It's private. I know. Save your money. I know. Oh, but my mom said put her up north. It's cheaper. She's like, just put me in one of those up north. So I started looking for her.
I don't know. I'd have to ask Mom, but I think she's
going to move in with you.
Yeah, she's coming to my house.
Anyways, fucking summer. Summer
Yeah, that was crazy, but we both had those things happen.
We were AWOL all summer. And
we had to be grown-ups like that.
It was really a grown-up summer and a very grown-up summer. It was an intensely grown-up summer, although all my kids were healthy. I touch wood for the most part.
I was saying touch wood yesterday. What does that mean?
Just don't get electrocuted.
Catherine.
Yeah.
Oh, actually.
Yeah, touch wood.
Oh.
It should be touch rubber. I made that up. I don't know. I think though it should be something like touch wood because that's a boner.
Oh, fucking boner.
That's weird. Touch wood. That's weird. If you think about that, maybe not everyone knows that wood is boner.
I think when they started touch wood, they weren't calling boners wood. I think that's more of I
think it's been around for a long time, Natalie.
You think so?
So you did have a pivotal summer.
I did have a pivotal summer. But honestly, I think like it was kind of like, although it was, devastating in that way, I think the way that it happened was magical, which made me feel good. Isn't that crazy?
No, it's great.
But like
you and I have a very different perspective in life, and I don't really understand like, okay, so I'll just like spill the tea here quickly. I have not read the comments. I've not had a chance to read the comments on one of our posts on Instagram. Okay. And I don't know if it was because she was bowling. I don't know if it's because of
Sorry, we're referring to last week we got invited to it was a branded event for
Ronald McDonald
House, and Milk was a sponsor, and
like
we
not
have
milk something.
Yeah, and we were out in LA, so we got invited to go to Chrissy's house, and so Chrissy and John Legend, and so we went to the party because we're always up for a party.
Well, and it was a great cause, and like I didn't know we held on to controversy. Like I thought she took responsibility. I thought she went back to like went and fixed the issue that was happening and why she was over like saying too much. She went to rehab because she said, you know what, I drink too much and then I say what's on my mind and I need to stop.
She went to rehab.
I think she stopped drinking. Like I think she went and talked to someone. No, like I think she went to something.
No, she did because she was just like she was like, I'm at like red carpet events and I'm with all these people and shit is just flying out of my mouth. And
yeah.
I'm just kind of like,
don't want to be that person.
I don't want to be that person. I'm just going to like tone it down. I don't think it's like, I'm not going to drink forever, but it's like.
I think she's been 2 years no drinking.
Yeah.
I think I read that.
Mm-hmm. I remember when it happened.
Right. So.
And I've always liked, I saw John Legend. John Legend is he's an amazing artist. And he's also like.
This guy feels like a kind soul.
He's a very kind soul. But also what I love about his story was when he started to get some really big deals with singing, he always was like, you could be a one-hit wonder. I might be like really important. No.
Okay. Are you getting something too?
Yeah.
Who? Oh. Okay.
I could be really important, whatever. But at the end of the day, I need a job. And until this completely takes off,
yeah,
I'm not giving up. So he went to college and he was working at Boston Consulting while he was freaking like singing with like, I don't know who they were, like Puff or like some people who were like gave him some really
like
big
Puff Daddy.
Yeah.
Sorry, did you say like Puff?
Stop it. You stop it right now.
Like Puff.
I don't know if it was like it could have been Usher because he's too young, but it was like
somebody.
Yeah, somebody was really giving like basically a lot of people would have quit their jobs and been like, oh my God, I'm a singer now.
Right.
And he was like, I was raised to like make sure that you have money. And so he had his job. And way back in the day, there was this, we had a friend that worked for American Express and they, through their American Express, there was an opportunity to go on a one-night cruise.
I remember this.
Yeah, outside of New York. I remember the dress I wore. And I didn't have kids yet. And on the cruise, it just went from New York and then back. John Legend had a concert and I like knew his songs, but a lot of people didn't know who John Legend was. And I went to the concert and he actually played twice. I went to both the concerts and I don't even think Mark went to both of them, but I was like front row listening. So I always liked John Legend. And then when he married Chrissy's a really big foodie and into food and cooking and all that. And obviously I love that. So I've always had her cookbooks. I also love the writing in her cookbooks because she doesn't have like a filter. So most cookbooks like put like a spoonful of sugar.
Right.
She'll be like basically swearing.
And fucking throw it in.
Yeah. And I just loved like her angle of a cookbook was something I'd never read before. So I always like that. And her kids are cute and like, you know.
Oh, but I mean, nothing's that deep. So like we didn't say the things. Like I don't do the thing. I was like, okay, so yeah, people fuck up. You know what I mean? And say bad things. She clearly said, I fucked up. I did bad things. I'm not gonna do this anymore. And I should read it, but I feel like they're bullying the bully. Like they're in there like going crazy about what maybe happened.
I went and I looked and I was like, they're so, you know, I always like, you can see a lot of like negative comments. A lot of people hate her. She's political. She speaks her mind. She, back in the day, I guess she went on a Twitter rant with some young girl.
Yeah.
And basically told her to kill herself or something.
Oh, she was dating that really old man. It was like that. Yeah. But no one went to town on him. It was like that guy he was like 55 and she was like 18.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was like,
so
everyone was going to town on her, by the way. Back in the day.
Okay,
She was
right.
like 17. She was like a modern, not much. She was like the new Anna Nicole.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah.
Like something. Yeah. You know what? I watched the story.
And the thing is that I was actually talking to my kids about politics and I was saying how different it is in America and Canada.
Did I ask you this question?
What?
Where I was like, I said to Mary, I'm like, can you be friends with people who have two different beliefs? Because in Canada, there's I think like 5 parties or something, and you would never unfollow or unlike someone because they were voting for someone else. But I don't know if it's because now it's a character. I don't know. I don't know American politics enough to know.
There are deep, like, guys, we don't know a lot. I have to tell you something else about not knowing, but
I feel like you can be conservative. You can want, if you're like, maybe.
I don't feel like our parties are like deep down beliefs. Like I could be wrong, but I've never heard any of our political people talk about.
We're blue red. We're like people are like this.
We're not like our people don't talk about abortion rights.
No,
right? Like I feel like you could stand anywhere.
Ours are like taxes.
Right.
Our big thing where people lose their mind are taxes and funding for
exactly.
mental health. But it's always funded. It's like, are they getting 10% or 20% or not even 10 or 11%?
Mm-hmm.
Like everything is sort of.
And I feel like we're very much like.
We could be making this up.
We could be making this up.
But this is how we grew up. And
and
I don't remember watching the election growing up. I don't remember.
I remember that, like, I don't remember anything feeling nasty or anybody like having debates where they were mean to each other.
There was no
big deal.
No.
And I feel like you can believe lots of different things. Like I could be sitting beside someone who votes another way. I would not even know what their political agenda is.
And listen, for us, for part of it, Canada sucks to be an entrepreneur. I mean, we pay like 54% tax, 54%. So we pay more tax than we make. So as an entrepreneur, you're like, sometimes it's really, really hard in Canada to be an entrepreneur. You can barely make any money as an entrepreneur.
I mean, there's both. We're not gonna.
I'm just saying for us, like that could be one reason why someone votes one way.
But that wouldn't make a difference between a relationship between family, right?
That's my point. So it's not. It's sort of, those are the little things where someone's like, well, but I'm a teacher and we need, this person's really believing in the school system.
Yeah.
So it really is very minute within the parties, like, you know.
And I was trying to explain to my kids, I don't know how it came. Oh, because we were listening to the radio and there's the debate tonight with Kamala and Trump, and they were saying that I guess Kamala wanted to sit down because I guess there was some debate where she sat down. I'm like, maybe she's like gets faint if she stands for too long, because that would be me, right? Like I'm like, I want to sit. I can't stand in the same spot for too long. I'm going to faint. And they're like, oh, I don't think either of them need to faint, Mom. They're like presidents, and I'm like, you don't know why they want to sit down. You know, like who knows?
They're also people.
Yeah, and then
it could be like a power thing too.
Well, they said that it definitely could be all those things, but of course, my mind thinks, "Oh my God,
anxiety.
Maybe she's gonna faint." So, and then I was talking about like, because they were like, "Oh, what's it gonna be like?" And I was like, "Well, I mean, it's surprising if our kids were to watch a debate, surprising the way how they talk and act." They're like, "Oh, can people be friends who are on both sides?" And then my son mentioned this summer, two of my family members were kind of debating, and they were enjoying themselves. And I said, can you guys stop? Because to my kids, it sounds like you guys are arguing. And I don't feel very comfortable right now, because they're like, oh my gosh, no, we're just talking. I'm like, no. You are both like talking about big issues in front of the kid. And my kids are just like, I was like, right. So can you guys just stop? And my kid referred to that conversation. I feel like they'll never forget it, because they'd never heard people talking about politics with like passion like that.
Yeah.
And
so it was unique to us to have such to hate people.
Oh, but what I was going to say was, you know, you can look, it's like the way you look at the world. So I read a lot of the comments, but what really stood out to me was the people who were like, guys, like, don't go like judging them for something somebody else did, or some way that you feel about that. Like back off. Like so many people were just like, get it together. Like, you know, Cat Nat, you know, they're not all of a sudden surprising you with their views on something.
I just didn't know. I guess.
That's why I really saw the people like they're just our people, and they know us.
Get it together. Like, it's not that deep. Honest to God, nothing's that fucking deep. We went to a mansion in LA and had fun and ate some food and met some really nice people who we still talk to. Mm-hmm. And that's basically what it came down to. Mm-hmm. Like, oh my God, everybody. That's the problem with the internet. You know, the internet's so fucked. I thought to myself recently when I was like reading that, I was like, wow, people are on here arguing over what? Like, the thing about the internet is, though, all of those people everywhere exist. It's just
they can have a voice online. You know what I mean? Like, it's like a lot of people think those things, but they just won't say them. But you can say them online. Who the fuck knows who all those people are? You know, like some of the ones I like click on the profile. I'm like, who are you? Like,
oh yeah, and when people are like, how do you handle it? I'm like, honest to God, maybe these people don't have no, I want to say it really nicely because I don't mean it meanly, but I think when you get perspective in life, you understand what really matters. And unfortunately, sometimes it's shitty things in your life that gives you perspective and you understand what really matters. And a party going somewhere, if that's how you judge people, fucking wow. Like hopefully your kid never makes a mistake. Hopefully you never make a mistake. And hopefully you must be perfect. Congratulations. I guess
if you don't know us by now, you will never ever know.
I just told
us.
you my what I think about religion. I was like, so they don't listen to our podcast clearly. So I part of me was just like, how are you guys okay? I'm like, I didn't even fucking have time to read it. Like, my life is not the internet. You guys see a very small part of our life, and 0% of it validates me of whether or not Mary Jo Susie in Timbuktu is like, you are a terrible person for what. I'm like, okay. Like, okay.
You know, I watched what we're gonna end this soon, but yesterday I watched Can I Tell You a Secret?
Yeah.
I'm not asking. No, I'm not telling you a secret.
Yeah, tell me a secret.
And it was about basically someone who lived online and spent their life trolling and doing things. And when they really went back to find out the history of who this person was,
she wasn't okay.
It was a him. And I mean, this isn't always the case, but they were admittedly a very lonely human.
Aww.
That could, I know. But you know what? These women were like, I felt sorry for a minute, but I had to remember everything that they put me through. I'm sorry that you're lonely. I'm sorry that you weren't properly diagnosed.
But not you. Nothing happened to you.
Me?
Yeah.
Not me.
You're like saying I felt sorry.
Yeah,
like,
the girl was like, I feel sorry.
Okay, just clarify.
The girls were saying, I feel
Sounded
sorry.
Like
no, I said you. The girls in it.
Okay.
Said, I felt sorry for a minute, but which is true because he was not properly diagnosed. He was very lonely. He didn't have a life, but it didn't excuse his behavior. Again, it doesn't excuse your behavior.
Hell no.
But it was like, you think about how busy our lives are and how much goes on and how many people we have to consider and think about, that we would want to go online to make a comment that is negative. Can you imagine if
I came home to my kids and I was sad because someone online made a comment about we got backlash for going to a party? I'm like, I was just kind of.
How do you explain that to a child? You know what I mean?
But they see us just live life because I really don't get validation from people. I just don't. I get validation from how I am every day in my life rather than I'm not seeking to please people in my life at all. At all. And at the same time, we met someone in real life and she's like, which she was lovely and amazing. And we sat and talked to her and her husband for a long time and would come up and she was like, that was so kind of you. I'm like, what? You're a person. We're a person. We're at the same place. Why would we do anything differently? So and
by the way, you and your husband sound way more interesting than us.
But I'm saying, so if she was like, I had such a nice time with you, that is way more important to me than someone online who's like, you went to that party, screw you. You know what I mean? Because when you die, the person you sat with is going to matter more than the person who, just to tie it all back up around.
Guys, thank you for listening to the first episode of season 237 of Cat Nat Unfiltered. If you want to listen to this podcast ad-free and with bonus episodes, you can go over to Apple to subscribe. And otherwise, just can't wait for the next one.